Once upon a time, on the subtropical island of Amami-Oshima in Japan, locals had a serious problem. And no, it wasn't just the humidity or the occasional typhoon. It was something far slinkier, deadlier, and unfortunately, very bitey: the Habu snake. Now, if you're not familiar with the Habu, let me paint you a quick picture. Long, venomous, and with a temper that says, "I woke up on the wrong side of the jungle this morning." Back in the 1980s, about 400 people a year were bitten by these snakes. And, let's just say, not everyone lived to tell the tale. But here's the kicker. These snakes weren't the only venomous ones in Japan. Nope. They had cousins, other pit vipers, and those guys were equally problematic. Add to that the limited availability of snake anti-venom in remote rural areas, and you've got yourself a snake-infested nightmare. These venomous vipers didn't just slither in the shadows, they slithered right into people's lives, their homes, and sometimes, tragically, their final moments. In 1980 alone, around 400 people were bitten by these nocturnal predators. But humans are nothing if not problem solvers. When science couldn't deliver a quick fix, someone proposed a wild idea. Why don't we bring in an animal that's immune to snake venom and let it handle the problem for us? Enter stage left, the mongoose. Small, fearless, and with a legendary reputation for fighting cobras, the mongoose seemed like the perfect knight in furry armor. But, as history would soon show, sometimes the simplest solutions have the most unexpected consequences. So, grab a cozy seat, hit that like button, seriously, don't forget, and let's dive into this roller coaster tale of biological warfare gone hilariously and disastrously wrong. It was 1979 when the first batch of mongooses landed on the shores of Amami-Oshima. 30 little warriors, imported from regions like India and Nepal, where they'd earned their stripes battling cobras and rats. The plan was straightforward. 1, the mongooses would feast on the venomous Habu and make the island safer. 2, as a bonus, they'd also take care of the rat population plaguing local farmers. Sounds like a nature documentary waiting to happen, right? Except nature doesn't always follow the script. Fast forward a decade, and the mongoose population was skyrocketing. By 2000, they numbered around 10,000. But here's the kicker. The snake problem wasn't improving. Why? Because mongooses are daytime creatures. Habu snakes, on the other hand, are nocturnal prowlers. It's like asking a nightclub bouncer to guard a library during daylight hours. Sure, he's scary, but the troublemakers aren't even there. But even if their schedules had aligned, there was another issue: effort. Hunting venomous snakes is dangerous, tricky, and time-consuming. And mongooses, being opportunistic feeders, quickly realized there were far easier meals available, like slow-moving birds, baby rabbits, and farm chickens. It was like offering them 2 dinner menus. Option A, deadly snake that could kill you. Option B, plump rabbit that just sits there. Yeah, no surprise which one they chose. The mongoose population exploded, and instead of solving the island's snake problem, they became a brand new problem all on their own. By the 1990s, the Ministry of the Environment had seen enough. The mongoose experiment was officially declared a failure, and the alarm bells were ringing loud and clear. Local species were suffering. The adorable Amami rabbit, often called a living fossil because of its ancient lineage, was disappearing fast. These rabbits, once thriving across larger Asian territories, were now limited to Amami-Oshima and one other island. And mongooses? They weren't just a nuisance. They were wiping these rabbits out, one burrow at a time. But the rabbits weren't the only victims. The ryukyu rat, another endemic species, saw its numbers plummet. Birds lost their eggs to hungry mongooses, and farmers found their crops raided and their chickens snatched. It was ecological chaos, plain and simple. In just 2 decades, some native habitats had shrunk by up to 40%. Entire ecosystems were being thrown out of balance because of one poorly thought-out introduction. By the early 2000s, Japan wasn't just fighting mongooses. They were waging war on them. The government rolled out an aggressive mongoose eradication program, and no expense was spared. They used specialized traps, designed specifically to catch mongooses while avoiding harm to other animals. Toxic bait and attractants, substances to lure mongooses into traps. Search dogs trained to sniff out mongoose dens and track them down. Community involvement, squads of mongoose hunters, including local volunteers, combed forests and mountains. Between 2000 and 2018, an estimated 32,000 mongooses were captured and removed from Amami-Oshima. The last mongoose was reportedly caught in April 2018. Since then, not a single mongoose has been spotted on the island. It's a monumental achievement. Globally, only 9 successful mongoose eradications have been recorded, and this one was the largest operation ever undertaken on an island as big as Amami-Oshima. But why go through all this trouble? Some might ask. Why not just let the mongooses be? They weren't originally there, sure, but was it really worth this level of effort to get rid of them? Short answer, yes. Long answer, island ecosystems are fragile. Endemic species, the ones that exist only on those islands, are particularly vulnerable to invasive predators. Unlike mainland animals, they haven't evolved defenses against newcomers like mongooses. When a predator enters such an ecosystem, the damage is catastrophic and often irreversible. The Amami rabbit, the ryukyu rat, and dozens of other unique species were on the brink of extinction. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Japan understood that they were fighting not just for one island, but for the survival of an irreplaceable slice of Earth's biodiversity. Meanwhile, in Okinawa. While Amami-Oshima declared victory, Okinawa is still wrestling with its mongoose problem. Mongooses were introduced to Okinawa decades earlier, during the Meiji era. Conditions there are warmer, food is plentiful, and mongoose survival rates are high. But Okinawa has a trick up its sleeve: L-shaped fences. These barriers are designed not just to stand tall, but to extend underground, preventing mongooses from digging underneath. So far, they've been effective in controlling the population. However, the threat isn't gone. If Okinawa's mongooses ever make their way back to Amami-Oshima, the entire cycle could start again. A global lesson. The risks of biological control. Amami-Oshima's mongoose saga isn't unique. From Hawaii to Cuba, Belize to Jamaica, mongooses have been introduced to control pests, only to create bigger problems. In Hawaii, mongooses wiped out native bird species and decimated turtle populations. In Jamaica, they disrupted insect populations so badly that tick outbreaks became a huge problem. The lesson: nature is complicated, and quick fixes rarely work. Final thoughts. Hope from chaos. Amami-Oshima's mongoose story is both a cautionary tale and a story of hope. It proves that with determination, collaboration, and a whole lot of patience, Even the most overwhelming ecological disasters can be reversed. The island's wildlife is beginning to recover. Amami rabbits are slowly repopulating their burrows, and Ryukyu rats are regaining ground. But let's not forget the lesson here. Ecosystems are not puzzles where we can force pieces together. They are delicate, intricate webs, and every strand matters. So next time someone suggests introducing a predator to fix an ecological problem, let's all remember. Sometimes nature needs time and space, not a mongoose cavalry. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, share it with a friend, and stay curious. Until next time, adventurers, see you in the next wild tale.